So how and why you're very likely addicted to pornography, but you didn't even realize it. So spoiler alert, I don't mean sexual pornography. What I mean is the way in which people are relating to news, the media, and social media is the exact same mechanics as someone would relate to pornography. What I mean by that is if someone is going to consume sexual pornography, usually they're going to find something that they like that's going to stimulate and validate some base part of the most primal aspect of their organism, some part of their fight or flight response and their sex drive, right? But the thing is, when people are watching the news and the way people are consuming social media, it's doing basically the exact same thing. And maybe this sounds foreign to you, but maybe you haven't seen this, but there's all these YouTube channels that cater to an exact specific experience of life. So on one extreme, there's like very like radical kind of feminist sort of stuff. In all of the channels are all these clips of men doing terrible things, or men saying stupid things, or men doing bad things. So basically, these people are emotionally masturbating to this emotional response that they're getting from this form of media pornography that just happens to be like, oh, men are bad. On the flip side, there's like red pill guys, men going their own way, all this kind of stuff. And all these channels are just, oh, women are dumb and women get played and women do these things and women do these stupid things. And this guy did this to this girl and put her in her place and all this. Same thing. This guy is just basically emotionally getting off on this thing. And it is the exact same mechanics as pornography, but people don't realize it. It's the same exact addictions, same exact kind of dopamine rewards, the same glorified whatever fixation with that aspect of their identity. Moving forward, this is largely how mainstream media news outlets operate as well. They find their little groove, they find their target market, and they're looking for what are the emotional buttons that we can just push that are going to get the most reaction out of people, because that's what people are going to tune in for. That's what people are going to show up for, and that's why they're watching it, because they're not really getting informed. They're not getting educated about really anything. They're just mentally masturbating to this emotional fixation that the news is reflecting back to them. This is large in part how politics works. These slogans and buzzwords and placards that inherently don't mean anything because they're rarely, if ever, actually defined. They're just something that people mentally and emotionally masturbate themselves to and have this whole internal experience, and then they're projecting that out to whatever that person is or whatever that placard or slogan is, and having some sort of Pavlovian response. And social media is the exact same thing. People are following these accounts and interacting with these things, basically just mentally and emotionally masturbating to get whatever responses that are getting fed back to them. In their whole life, their whole reality almost becomes a complete existence of confirmation bias, where everything they consume is just mentally, emotionally stimulating them, just exactly in the same way as the person who is looking at porn multiple times every day, which we already know that's not really that healthy and that's not really that useful for people, and over time has very negative effects for their productivity, for their mental health, for their physiological health, for so many metrics. But it's the exact same mechanics, the way people are consuming the news, the way people are consuming social media and media at large. And if you don't think this is true, then I would just say look at your own behavior, look at your own media sources. How much of what you consume stretches your perception, challenges your ideas, causes you to look at things in a new way, versus how much is just what you already think, feel, and believe reflected back to you? How often are you looking at something and just having a gut reaction of like, that's dumb, I don't agree with it, or that's just this ism or this personality or this thing that I'm lumping into some group identity that I'm automatically shooting down? But then how much time are we actually spending on understanding versus just agree and disagree? So anyways, hopefully that makes sense and is some good food for thought, and I will talk to you soon.